On day 2 and 4, we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to pair our supine presses or our overhead presses with hip extension movements. We're still going to be doing our abdominal work first, although we're not going to re-demonstrate that for you. We would still be doing our Olympic exercises prior to our pressing movements, but we're not going to demonstrate that for you. What we're going to do is show you the types of pairs that we're going to use in this day 2 and day 4 situation. We're going to talk about straight leg deadlifts and hip extension movements, and one of the questions that's going to come up is, doesn't this mean you're doing legs every day in this 4-day workout? And the answer would probably be yes, but what we want you to think about is movements, not muscles. We're not worried about the fact that we're using our legs all 4 days, because we are using our legs differently. We're using hip and leg push one day, we're using hip extension the other day. From an injury prevention standpoint, again, we want to keep making this point. We don't want to overemphasize supine, lying down types of presses. There are so many workouts that you see that are just, 3 and 4 bench press type movements included in one given day. We want to make sure that we're, again, covering all the bases. The other thing we want you to notice is that we're going to use hip extension movements to train our hamstrings. We are not going to do leg curls. We want to look at exercises where the hip is used as an extensor, where the hamstring is used as an extensor, where we're talking about foot contacting the ground and pushing back, because that's what hamstrings do in sporting situations. On day 2 and 4, we're going to start out with supine presses paired with hip extension movements. Walter's going to demonstrate the conventional bench press. This is an overused movement, but it's a movement that we still like to have in our workout. We will not bench press more than once in any given week, but we will bench press just about every single week. Garnett, on the other hand, is going to demonstrate for us a close grip bench press. We're going to use this more as a day 4 alternative to the bench press. We may use close grips, we may use dumbbell bench presses, we may use a number of different supine pressing exercises, but we're going to try to stick to one supine pressing movement per workout. What we're going to do again is we're going to pair exercises. So Walter is going to go to a straight leg deadlift. Here what we're looking for is that we're using, again, the hamstrings as hip extensors. Walter's going to keep his back nice and tight. He's going to keep the bar close to his body. He's going to slide the bar directly down his shins. We're going to make sure that his upper back stays in an arch position. This is not your old round back straight leg deadlift. We want to make sure that we maintain a real good torso position and that we make our hamstrings do the work and not our back extensors. Garnett's going to demonstrate just a simple dumbbell variation. This is a dumbbell straight leg deadlift. There really is very little difference, although this might be a little easier movement to teach. We've found that sometimes with beginners, the fact that the bar can almost literally go through their legs because of the dumbbell allows them to learn this movement much easier. Same conditions apply in terms of tight upper back, maintaining a tight arch, and making sure that the movement is executed with the hamstrings. Another possibility for our first pair is to mix a dumbbell movement with a different type of a hip extension exercise. Walter's going to demonstrate dumbbell bench presses, which are a simple variation of the conventional bench press. Here we've got 60-pound dumbbells in each hand, and we're going to execute the exact same movement. The range of motion can be a little bit larger with the dumbbell, but the big point here is that we want to get some variety. We don't want to be doing the same type of supine pressing all the time. Garnett's going to demonstrate a dumbbell incline bench press, which again is just the dumbbell variation of your conventional incline bench. We're still going to be keeping with the same idea. We're going to pair the exercises. So from here, what we would do is we would move back to Walter doing a hyperextension exercise. The big key that we want to get here is that his hip joints are off the end of the bench and that we're really emphasizing that he picks himself up using his glutes and his hamstrings. Although these are called hyperextensions or back extensions, they're really hip extension exercises. The emphasis is on using your hamstrings and using your glutes as hip extensors. With Garnett, the second exercise in her pair would be a glute ham raise. Same type of principle. The only difference here is that you really get to the two-joint function of the hamstring muscle. Although this is a specialized piece of equipment, it's probably one of the best hamstring exercises that you can do, because you get hamstring as hip extensor, and then you finish up with hamstring as knee flexor.